I don't think this is wise.
Why not?
Right. Okay, so a couple of things. So first things first, I've never seen a Studio Ghibli film, but everyone loves them, and it seems to be that they have a kind of nostalgia about them. There's something kind of dreamy and nice about them. And
have you seen the memes? The Studio Ghibli memes?
Yeah, I've seen them.
Everybody loves Studio Ghibli, and everybody is posting these memes.
I know.
And there's like some of the most vile imagery imaginable, Ghiblified.
I know.
9/11 Ghiblified.
I know.
You're saying it's poor taste.
No, it's not that it's poor taste. It's that this is tapping into the sentimental, nostalgic side of a person's brain. And what this does is actually frame the fentanyl dealer as what appears to be a sympathetic victim. If you didn't know anything about the backstory,
I see what you're saying.
Why is this mean man arresting this poor, obese woman of color? She's crying, and I guess she's getting deported.
There should be cartoon fentanyl.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
So if you don't know anything about it, it looks quite mean, right? If you're from the outside. There's a second thing as well, which is there's political capital is never static, right? You're either gaining it or losing it. And when you take responsible actions that people who don't like you can't help but show respect to, you're gaining it, right? When you are doing something that you know the other side hates, but you think it needs to be done anyway, you're losing it. You burn it up. This is something the other side hates, but it doesn't really do anything. So it's an expense in political capital that isn't really very wise, because what this does to people who are not heavily on the internet like us is make them think, why is there a childish Zoomer in charge of the White House official communications? This doesn't make me think well of the Trump administration generally, and therefore you lose a lot more political capital than you might think.
Maybe. I think also one thing to consider is this is a hyper online thing. I mean, if you're not online, you're not seeing this post.
Sure, but they'll write a bunch of news articles about this. They were like, the White House official communications are now mocking poor obese fentanyl dealers, and look at the crying face.
Well, they would say asylum seeker. You know,
whatever it is, right?
But I wonder with this, it's how much goodwill have they lost because they've lied so much, and additionally, does the White House use the strategy of get them to complain to annoy the base or their base?
Possibly, but the problem I think that the Trump administration is showing at the moment, and this is a genuine form of weakness that I think could be avoided. And I say this as someone who's been a Trump partisan since 2016, right? So I'm not, I don't think anyone would ever accuse me of not supporting Trump hard enough. But I went a couple of years ago. I went to a conference in Miami, and Curtis Yarvin, of all people, was speaking there. He's like, "Look, the Republicans need a plan to literally own the libs, because if you come back and you win a superb victory, they're going to be under your dominion, right? You're going to be the ones making decisions for them, and you can either make good decisions that actually make everyone's lives better and leave them in a position where they have to admit that you have done good things." Or you can wind them up for 4 years and hang on and end up burning up a bunch of political capital that you'll carry as baggage afterwards. And it seems actually the Trump administration is kind of going in the wrong direction there. It would actually be more sensible if they had a proper plan to own the libs.
What if this is the muzzle velocity that Steve Bannon was talking about?
Sorry, go on, tell me what you were saying there.
Well, just the muzzle velocity of like thing after thing after thing, so the other side doesn't know what to even address.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not really about the other side, because the other side, no matter what happens, they're going to be entrenched activists against everything you do for every reason. The issue is essentially not to give them an easy win. Right? This stuff is giving them an easy win. Even if everyone hates them, and everyone does hate the Democrats, they don't hate the Democrats so much that they don't care what the sitting administration does, and that doesn't reflect on them. And it's not that no one of these things is going to be a dramatic drop, but it's about the slow, gradual whittling away of the political capital that the Trump administration had really built up. And you are right about the sort of flood the zone thing. That is good in a situation where you need to keep your opponent off their feet. But there is still a collective effect, which is, why are they being sort of childish and chaotic? Why aren't they being authoritative and responsible.
Maybe
right?
this will result in them writing a bunch of stories and defending a fentanyl dealer, which they can then respond with, you are defending a criminal, illegal alien fentanyl dealer.
Yeah, but the problem is it's not really about the individual, the actual battlefield, right, of what the person did. The problem is it's about the character of the people engaged in the fight. And what the Trump administration should be doing at the moment is demonstrating higher character than the Democrats, which is not hard to do. And the thing is, I believe that the Trump administration has higher character than the Democrats, because I know several of them myself. I'm friends with a bunch of them, and I'm friends with a bunch of the people around them. And I like everyone in this sphere. But the problem is, I think that a lot of you guys have been in the trenches for a long time, right? And when you've been in the trenches, you've been under constant fire from the Democrats. It's nice to have these wins. Now you've got the levers of power. But the thing is, a lot of the country is not an entrenched MAGA Republican, right? And yet they still lent their votes to Trump because they're like, no, Trump is the guy to fix problems. And he is. He is fixing loads of problems. Like, I'm so jealous of Doge. I'm so jealous of what he's doing on the border. I'm so jealous of what he's doing just cutting down the state in general and just making America a more potent force in the world. This kind of thing detracts from that. And it becomes a kind of stain on what is otherwise a cavalcade of glory. And there's no reason not to actually really sort of step into the role of, no, we are the saviors of the West here. We don't need to be prattling around. We're not even just going to crush our opponents. That's already happened. We're going to show them how a good future is going to be. And it doesn't need that, you know, it doesn't need that sort of thing.
I see what you're saying. I largely agree, but
it's not funny either. It is funny, but it's like there is a bigger concern.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.